Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. Today I wanted to show you my embossing folder storage. I know storage is something we all struggle with. We all have so many craft supplies, and I am very blessed to have a craft room that is all for my crafts. But recently I changed my method for my embossing folders, and this is what I have. It's a container from Recollections at Michael's. It's a greeting card and craft keeper is the name of it. And what I have in here is all of my embossing folders. And what I do is when I get a new folder, all I do is I take that folder and I take a Sharpie and I mark the next number on it. So they're just consecutively in here with numbers on them. On this side, the numbers start with B's, and quite truthfully, I know it's silly, but that stands for big just because these are the 5x7 embossing folders. Then what I do is I take this punch and I punch out, it's from Recollections, it's a large tag, or you could do a die cut for a tag, and I punch out a tag. And I take the Sharpie and I write the same number on that tag, and I run the tag through my embossing, through my Big Shot. Okay, so then I end up with all the tags and a sample of how those tags emboss. So then when I'm looking for an embossing folder for a project, I'm able to just pick this ring up and go through it, find the tag that I want to use, see what number it is, and then I'm able to pull it out. Oops, and I just broke one off. So I'm able to figure it. So if I wanted these puppy dog prints, they're number 53. I would just look in here and find 53. And there it is, the little puppy dog print embossing folder. And then I just keep this thing of the tags with the samples just thrown in with the embossing folders. So it works out really well. You could take and you could organize these, say florals and holidays and things like that, and put an extra tag in between them. I don't, I just flip through them. But you certainly could do that. But one of the nice things is you don't have to worry about the order of your embossing folders because you can just keep going in numeric order because you've always got this little embossed sample so that you can take a look and see what that folder is going to look like. So that's my embossing folder storage. The other thing I wanted to share is just a couple of other things that I do that may be a little bit different, but for piercing, for putting a brad onto a project, I just use my little foam mat. You could get a piece of fun foam from the Children's Crafts, and I use just a push pin from your bulletin board, and I just push that right through to make the hole for my brad. It works super easy. It makes a perfect size hole, and it's extremely inexpensive way. I have one of those fancy tools, but it's got a cap on it, and I have to remember to keep the cap on it. It's extremely sharp. I find this is just so much easier to do. So I've done this for years like this, and you can see my little mat has tons of holes in it, but that's something I really like. And one other thing is I use these galvanized buckets from IKEA to store my tools that I reach for all the time. So I have this on my craft table right at my reach. But one of the things I think is kind of neat is I have some magnets that I use when I make mini albums, and I have them stuck around the buckets. And I actually have 2 of these buckets on my desk. And I have like 4 magnets stuck around them. So they're just the largest size magnets I use for my mini albums. But the reason that magnet is on there, if you're like me and you use this glue, you're constantly searching for this pin when you take it out of the glue. So what I do is take it out of the glue and just kind of throw it at the magnet. It sticks, and then when I'm ready to put it back in, I don't have to hunt everywhere for it, check the floor, whatever, through my papers. I've got it right here just stuck to the magnet. So that's really worked out really well for me. So I wanted to share that because I think that's something a little bit different but super easy to do. These little galvanized buckets at IKEA, if you have an IKEA, are only 49 cents. So it's a great way to do that. There are some buckets at IKEA that are 99 cents. They have these ridges up here, but if you get these plain straight ones, they're only 49 cents. They're really handy in your craft room. In fact, I have them with my Copic markers in it too. So great little buckets 49 cents, very inexpensive way to store, but most of all to keep track of this little pin. I learned my lesson when I had to pay $6 to get some replacement ones, and I said, no, that's crazy. So I came up with the little magnet there so I could always keep track of where this little pin is. So that's it for today. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next time.